welcome back to the SCP Foundation Wiki. We're going to be reading 261 through 270 tonight. So this should be fun. Yeah, hopefully whenever I do the random generation for tonight, we get like a good number one. But, you know, sometimes we get like vampire survivor stories or whatever. I don't know, what is it called? I gotta play it at some point. The game really challenges me to like spell it out too. Vampire the Masquerade. Is that just all that it's called? Oh, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Okay. I pictured like a really long title. Wait, what? White Wolf Wiki. There's a fucking tabletop RPG? Dude, okay, this is great actually. This is like, I fucking started memeing, but this like ties in really well. I randomly discovered the White Wolf Wiki a long time ago, but not like super long. You know, a few years ago. It's actually like, now that we got more power scaling wikis for like, you know, fantastical, fictional, whatever the fuck. MCU versus this other, multiverse versus a... White Wolf is actually like a compilation of so many tabletop RPGs. It's fucking crazy. Hey, get out of there, guys. Anyway. Related to this, I mean, there's probably so many overarching themes in the Foundation Wiki that you could probably just like put them all on a napkin, and then you'd only have you'd have a negative amount. You'd actually have all of it at once at the same time. Anyway, let's read some of the Foundation Wiki, shall we? Just get the plot to Hotline Miami as an SCP entry. What would that look like? That'd be kind of fucking crazy. That must be kind of like a little wild, right? All right, well let me pull it up. 261. We also usually look at like the home page. So we will, and you know, I don't always give like a warning, but spooky, scary warning. If you're the faint of heart, this might not be for you. 18 plus, you know, it's kind of scary. And, you know, I play my own music, so it's kind of like a read-along or just a narration session, but if you don't like the music, go check out something else. I'm sorry, it's just my own way of enjoying it. It helps me focus, and also sometimes it fits the vibe. Like, what the fuck is this? I'm being chased by Peanut through the halls of the Foundation. Help me. SCP 1800. What do you mean? Is that like 1-800? Because that's pretty good. That's pretty good, like a 1-800 hotline. HOTLINE. Dial the number. Anyway, let's check out more of the Foundation Wiki, shall we? With like fucking creepy music. I feel like Galarians is really fitting for this, but this is this track in particular. What is this from? Nano Assault, yeah. This usually has a lot of atmospheric shit for the Foundation Wiki. So here's the main page. It looks like we update it basically every single day, it seems like, but you know, there's a lot of entries. What if I was just reading Wikipedia this whole time? I wasn't reading Foundation articles. That'd be kind of odd, right? I'm more interested in like the paranormal here. I would sit here narrating Wikipedia. There's a million channels out there that do that. I'd probably do that. 1-800, yeah. that's great. I'd love to see that. That'd probably be like a good joke article. So we get one, but it's not a number. So hold on. Let me just keep clicking until I get a number. There we go. This is what the additional one we got. That it seems like if I open it in a new tab, it gives me a non-numeral. So here's the additional one. I don't think I'm gonna read this. This is like timeline based, and it has like redactions and additions. That's fucking cool. So I've been I have it right here. I've been wanting to read one of these extended Doctor Who books, and I read Alien Bodies, which is one of the precursors. So now I have the City of the Saved, but I've been meaning to read that for a while. There's that article if you wanted to read it. I'll scroll it a little slower because I was kind of just rambling. But Yeah, I reminisced on that because people have been talking about Doctor Who on Twitter. It's going to come back soon, I'm sure. I don't know. I haven't kept up with it too much recently. But there's always people working on it. There's always people critical of all of it and stuff. And yeah, so I read Alien Bodies, the book. I actually had it narrated to me, as a matter of fact. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think about it constantly, in fact. So I'm excited to check out this book in the extended universe. I mean, it's like I've been hyping it up to myself. I'm going to love it. I know it. But, you know, yeah, all this talk about non-human intelligence, and now we're talking about alien bodies. I'll let you decide, but I'm not going to go into the details of that one. We talk more about non-human intelligence and unidentified anomalous phenomena, right? I don't know about, I need more like confirmed proof of certain things, right? Anyway, here's 4437. Hey, show me the alien body right up close to my nose and let me give it a sniff. Oof. Yeah. Let's look at the image first. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm like role-playing, smelling an alien body. There's an image. 4437, level 5, top secret, containment class safe. Disruption class VLAM, level 2. Risk class warning, level 3. The caption for the image, the area in which SCP-4437 may manifest. It appears to be not a train, like a subway route. The name of the image is map.png. Okay, let's uncrop now. Oh, wait, no, I'm fine. Duh. I get an image right away. So, yeah, it appears to be, this is New York. I would definitely say just seeing Queens on the map overlaid really makes me think that, but, Cypress Air in the top left, Brook Air as we go left, St. Mary Street as we go top right from there. The northwest quadrant. Yeah, as we look east from there, we see Long Island Sound. This is definitely New York. Really, the only like notable features are the lack of like real keys on the map, but you see all of these things listed. So in fact, we see what is this? LGA Airport. We see like bus routes. QKB bus to LGA, QF2 bus to LGA. I'm assuming New York has a quite complex bus route system, right? As we look towards like the bottom right quadrant, I can see other things. Actually, right there is Queens Boulevard. In the bottom left quadrant, closer to the center, Queens Boulevard. So we see this is based on a real map. I mean, I'm not a New York expert, but I can guesstimate. This could be a fake map, I don't know. The other real notable partition, though, is at the bottom center of the image. Quadrant 8 here, if we were starting from, top left, or it would be quadrant 7, actually, if we were starting from 0. Temporal displacement hub is what's noted here. It's a little segment just off of Queens Boulevard, in fact. If you take a right on Queens Boulevard into this, well, it looks like a cul-de-sac area, but again, this is like a train route. It just says temporal displacement hub in a blue box outlined in black. Alright. Whatever the fuck that means. I would write it, but I don't want to put that much effort into that, so I'm good for now. Yeah, nowadays we got like articles up into like nearly 10,000. That's probably like a futile endeavor. They might like over-edit it. The original Alien Hominid is coming on Steam pretty soon. That's good. I hope that like all of this Unity game stuff stops happening and we can just leave old Unity games alone. Because, if I make a game in like a 3D engine, I'm using Godot. I'm not going to Unity. That was like fucking 10 years ago, I consider that pretty much. Fuck that. Alright, 4437, Special Containment Procedures. The entrance to 4437 is to be sealed off with concrete, declared condemned, and to be removed from any subway maps. Any person who views 2065 is to be given Class A amnestics. What? Okay. As a safety precaution, any subjects who entered 4437 for testing must not disembark from their vehicle due to risk of a Foxed Tau class chronography change scenario. Footnote 1. in which a temporal paradox is formed, altering the present timeline due to actions in the past. Well, there you go. We had like a fucking timeline article. And why did I click that? And yeah, now that I didn't read it, I'm getting chronologically punished. I temporally chronically punished. What is this? This is what I meant to do. What the fuck is this? Yeah, that's a Tau. Okay. Description. Hold on. What? He's a master in New York. I don't know why, like, I had to psychically vibe into that one, but I was like, yep, I'm geoguessing right now. It's geoguessing. Deep well systems are to be calibrated due to immense strain caused by the use of 4437. Description. 4437 refers to a temporal anomaly currently encompassing a section of New York City's 7 subway track, approximately 1 mile in length. Any train that enters 4437 span, as well as any passengers, will be transported into the past or future relative to their acceleration upon entering 4437. The direction of the car's acceleration determines the direction of temporal displacement. Acceleration results in forward temporal displacement, while deceleration denotes backward temporal displacement. The exact proportion is not known. Current approximations are between 20 kilometers per second squared to 57 years and 20 kilometers per second squared to 150 years. All temporal displacement of the train car ceases upon any personnel-created change in speed, returning displaced objects and individuals to a non-anomalous section of the 7 track, traveling at the speed limit for that particular section. 4437 only triggers under the following conditions. Bullet. A subway car enters 4437. Bullet. The subway car must typically travel on the 7 track. Bullet. The subway car must be accelerating or decelerating when entering 4437. Bullet. The subway car is traveling at an initial velocity greater than 5 kilometers per hour. Bullet. The subway car must not be automated. Any failure to fulfill these conditions results in those attempting to enter 4437 to simply run down the track, generally resulting in crashes once 4437's track ends. Failed attempts at entering 4437 have resulted in 24 Foundation casualties. Holy shit. Yesterday I watched a 4-hour-long video about Faith the Unholy Trinity. That shit was cool as fuck. I've only really seen, and I haven't played the whole thing, but I've only really seen the first game. I didn't really know that there was a trilogy. I just knew it was kind of like a cult classic. Under the orders of the O5 Council, the remainder of this file is locked. Clearance accepted. Welcome, O5. Put her there. That's what I'm telling you. I told you we got fucking O5 level clearance. Following the events of 4437/4, SCP-4437 is to be considered unusable. Recovery log. 4437 was discovered approximately 3 days after its initial appearance, following reports of spontaneous disappearance of subway cars. Foundation personnel quickly removed any mention of 4437 from online presence, as well as new subway maps, and instituted containment procedures. It's anomalous, dude. We gotta go fucking check New York and see if it's real. Addenda. Addendum 4437.1 audio log. Note: this interview was conducted between Jonathan Howe, a former New York subway driver, and head researcher Licona. Begin log. Howe: wow, you really do exist, huh? I always thought this sort of X-Files thing was utter bullshit. Licona: yep, we do. Howe: he looks around the interview room, eventually fixating on the recording device. Wow, I wish I could tell my kids about this. They love this sort of stuff. Licona: please focus. Howe: sorry, man. It's just my kids were always into that stuff. E.T. was their favorite movie. In fact, my youngest, Tatiana, dressed up as Scully for Halloween 3 years in a row. What does that mean about me, that I dressed up as Death? Almost every single Halloween except 2 of them? So I was homeless for 1 year and then a karate master for the other one. Otherwise I was Death every year. What does that say about me? Oh shit! Oh shit! What does that say about me? Well, fuck, like tick them all off the list. Have I become a karate master yet? I was a yoga master, so I guess that kind of counts. Huh. Alright, okay, yeah, sorry. Sorry, man. It's just my kids were always into that stuff. E.T. was their favorite movie. In fact, my youngest Tatiana dressed up as Scully for Halloween 3 years in a row. She used to bust out my old suits and grab a super soaker. Held up half the houses in our neighborhood for king-size Snickers bar. He smiles fondly, slowly moving his arms around as he speaks. Lacona. Alright, that aside, let's begin with the interview. Mr. Howe, you were a driver for the New York City subway, right? Howe. 7 R and M lines for 25 years. Lacona. Let's forget the R and M lines and focus on the 7. Was there anything off about it that you noticed? Perhaps an odd turn or two. Howe. No, everything was pretty normal. Nothing interesting ever happens on the line, nothing juicy. The B line's where everything's at. Power outages, things on the track, a wild pigeon stampede. Man, old Tyrone was so lucky. Damn his penny pinching ass. The 7 line, it was filled with just shitty operators. They pop out of nowhere sitting in odd off tracks I'd never seen. Lacona. Anything else? Anything at all, out of the ordinary. Anything recent, perhaps? How? Let me think. The noggin needs the old kick in the pants sometimes, you know. My memory's not as great as it used to be. Howe sighs and rubs his temple. I've been taking a bunch of supplements lately. Supposed to help with the brain. Doctors say I'm at risk for dementia, you know. A few months ago I got hit with a weird bout of narcolepsy? Narcolepsy, yeah. Right, that's the word. I must have fallen asleep because trains would just pop out of nowhere in front of me. Thankfully there was no crash and none of the passengers noticed either. They just showed. Lacona. Did you see anything before these cars appeared? How? No UFOs, no. Though I heard an odd squawk or roar once, like some car screeching to a stop, only above the L tracks. Footnote 2. Slang for elevated train tracks. That was about it. I figured it was the pigeons. He chuckles. They're fucking mutants at this point. Yeah, that's true. Like, Futurama has proven that. Lacona. You didn't see anything? Try to jog your memory. How? Doc, I swear, nothing. Driving the subway's already boring. You turn a lever here, turn it the other way there, then just sit. Even a man like me doesn't forget stuff that easy, come on. Sometimes you take a wrong turn, you gotta pick yourself up and dust yourself off. Lacona. Further tests will be necessary. Thank you, Mr. Howe. Howe remains silent before continuing. Howe. Sorry, but I guess that's just time, right? End log. Huh. You think they disposed of him after the interview? You think they disposed of him? Yeah, maybe he's still around. Hold on. I'm always taking notes about what games I want to play. I just realized that I'm already playing Mega Man Battle Network 2, despite just beating the last one. I'm like, I need to play Mega Man X as well, so, you know, that's on the cards at one point. That shit was cool as fuck. Dude, that shit is so fucking cool. I love the rotoscoping. In Faith? Wait, what? Huh? What's up with, like, Faith 3, then? If there's, like, insane graphics. What the fuck? Yo. The third chapter looks insane. Okay. Alright. God damn. You know, I love my faith. I love my faith, you know? Addendum 4437.2, audio log. Note, during this test, D19872, who was arrested under charges of Grand Theft Auto, reckless endangerment, and vehicular manslaughter, was instructed to drive a subway car into 4437 while decelerating at a rate of 10 kilometers per hour. Begin log. What the fuck? I feel like this is a self-fulfilling prophecy, but okay. John Ward is based, just know that. I've known that since we had Faith, the original. Wasn't John Ward making, like, good shit before Faith? Wasn't it? Weren't we making like insane shit before Faith? He walked away from his evangelical roots to escape feeling. It's a different person, but that's hilarious. John Ward faith build in Elden Ring. John Ward grind set. John Ward grind set. John Ward Faith Roblox. I'm fucking losing it, man. That's good. I can't. I was gonna look at something else related to that, but I'm good. That's perfect. John Ward build Payday 2. John Ward is the main character of Faith. Okay, I see. Whoever the developer is of Faith is fucking based. I thought we were talking about the dev. John Ward sounds like it'd be the dev's name. D19872. Okay, just because I stole a fucking car doesn't mean I know how to drive one of these things, no matter how much practice you guys give me. Lacona, over radio. Just pull the lever. We've set out instructions for you. It should be relatively simple from there. D19872. Let me see. The sounds of multiple objects falling over can be heard until a subway car starts, presumably from D19872 inadvertently striking the starting lever. Oh, there. Seems I must have accidentally hit it. Well, let's get comfy, I guess. We're going to the past? Lacona, indeed. The train begins to speed up as it approaches 4437. Lacona, you need to slow down when you enter. Decelerate your car to a speed of 42 kilometers per hour, please. D19872. Oh shit, you're not kidding, right? Lacona, no, I most certainly am not. D19872. I wonder if I can catch a pic with a T-Rex. Can I, sir? Lacona, no, you are not to exit the vehicle. D19872. Damn, well, it's slowing, at least. I turn right up here? Lacona, yes. We've already taken the liberty of triggering your track switcher, so you must not touch anything else. Leave it, you'll be fine. D19872. Sure, sounds good. This chair is awfully comfy. I should have stolen one of these. Okay, kleptomaniac. Lacona, I doubt you would get far. You were caught less than 12 hours later driving a car, no? This would certainly be much more difficult to actually maneuver. D19872. Ouch, sir, ouch. I told you not to talk about that. Some time passes. D19872 has begun to approach 4437. D19872. You sure this is the spot? It looks pretty normal to me. Lacona, just give it time, Marcus. Patience is key. Marcus. Indigo Silver Game. D19872. Whatever you said, sir. Approximately 30 seconds later, 4437 is triggered. The subway car disappears. 5 seconds afterward, it returns. 5 seconds afterwards, it returns. The log is paused until D19872 is well enough to dictate what happened. Log resume. D19872 and researcher Lacona have returned to the interview room. D19872 has returned to normal body vitals and has indicated he is well enough to interview. D19872. It's been a while since I've smelled the scent of these concrete walls. If the sun works the same way back then, it's probably around 4 days, maybe? 5 as a high shot? Lacona, describe what you see. D19872. Okay, I'm gonna start off with a few problems I noticed. First of all, no dinosaurs. What the fuck, sir? Put her there. Put her there. No fucking dinosaurs, Marcus. Marcus, you're supposed to see a fucking crow. Dinosaurs, Marcus? Yeah, You don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand. I've come from the sequel to David Cage's latest game. Oh, God. Okay, get it. We're gonna have to decommission this D-class. Just put him in the fucking grinder. Put him in the gears. Lacona, we were not sure how far in the past you would go. I may not should, but I'm deeply disappointed by the lack of Velociraptor in your testing environment as well. Please tell us about where you ended up. D19872. Well, at first I didn't know. I popped out in some city. I'm guessing because there are a ton of buildings around. They were all teepees. Bunch of natives, I'm wagering. They didn't seem to notice and acted like I wasn't there, I guess. It was freaky because the car would roll right through a buffalo wrangling, and I was under the car, completely terrified. But they just didn't care. The car kept rolling, and I was super surprised, because we were hitting a hill, I guess. I could feel it tilt up. So I peek my head out the window, and there's fucking tracks, just appearing. Like real, live railroad tracks. Lacona, and this continued until your return here. D19872, it did. They only showed up where the train was, really. I'd turn to the left, the tracks would turn, etc., etc. Thanks for the note, by the way, super helpful. Lacona, it was no issue. The fuck is going on? The dev of face name is like Aurendorf? Something like that? Erdorf. Okay. You say John Ward build in Payday 2, and I think of John Cruelty in Payday 2. Cruelty Squad build in Payday 2 confirmed. No, not this fucking song. D19872. So that aside, I decide that I might as well see the sights for a few days, you know? If this is anything like the Hot Tub Time Machine movie, it'd make sense, because I'd just pop up right where I started whenever I came back. I hit a right, went over some ocean for a long, long time. I saw some ships, 3 of them, going back to where I came from. Big things, red crosses on the sail. Drove right through them. I ended up in England, I'm guessing, because there were castles and shit around. Ended up running out of food, though. Didn't see much more. What the fuck? I think I've read this one, like on 4chan, when I was like 12 years old. What the fuck? I just remember, like, yeah, Hot Tub Time Machine. Actually, now that that's out, we could talk about, like, this new article we wrote for the Foundation. Huh? Lacona. So you couldn't interact with any object, alive or not. D19872, rustling can be heard. Nope, went right through him, just like a ghost. Spooky business, sir. What's with the sir? Lacona. Understandably. One final question. Did you see anything? Notice anything strange about the time period you traveled to? D19872. I suppose, the longer I spent, the stranger it felt physically. Like something was sort of spaghettifying, stretching out my insides. At the time, I figured it was just the lack of food, though. Also, the train kept fucking around. Half of it would sometimes sort of fall into itself or straight up fuzz out and disappear. Another time I looked and turned to grab a Snickers I hid in my pocket, which was melted, but when I turned back, half of the fucking train was gone, but it was still running. I saw a little black dot over in the back, kind of where I came from, sort of a rip in the sky, I guess. I figured it was where I was coming from. You know, like the rift in Back to the Future. It disappeared after a while, but trust me, it was fun, sir. D19872. Never doing it again. Lacona. Why is that, D19872? D19872. It was just freaky. Too damn risky. I did not like it one bit. Also, no dinosaurs. He laughs. Lacona. I'll ensure it doesn't happen again, Marcus. D19872. Thanks, sir. It's about time. End log. Sir. 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 I'm googling Cruelty Squad build in Payday 2. It doesn't exist. You just need to, like, have the brightest clothing possible. Get, like, John Sillyman face. Addendum 4437.3 testing log. Acceleration, time traveled to an American notes. It's a table. 18 kilometers per second squared. Time traveled to 2045. Notes. Buildings in 2045 era New York appeared similar to present day, though less of a presence of fossil fuel-based energy systems were noted. Furthermore, greater biodiversity was recorded, especially in urban areas. The U.S. Capitol Hill building was destroyed, and a large building with United States Voting Center was in its place. No replacement buildings were located. Okay. Negative 41 kilometers per second squared. 1707 traveled to Japan. The subway car's view is briefly obscured while driving over Mount Fuji. Fuji. The subway car's view is briefly obscured while driving over Mount Fuji. Internal temperature peaks at 49 degrees Celsius as Mount Fuji erupts. Townsfolk can be seen scattering. No events of history appear to be different. Huh. Negative 23 kilometers per second squared. 1932 traveled to Australia. A large congregation of emus could be seen across the continent, as a large battalion of soldiers gather in Sydney. No events of history appear to be different. Could be parallel timelines, like you only quasi-affected and it's only like a quasi-timeline. So it's only quasi-important. Or it could be that it's like, you know, refactor, fractalize, and like Occam's razor that. It could be like, you know, it's way too important because we like went that route. You know, because we use like fractions of fractions of fractions of logic. And we use like a fucking quantum train that travels through space that like rubber bands itself. It like half exists. Whoops! The Great Emu War. 21 kilometers per second squared, 2064. Gravitational force increases to 1.4 Gs. Discomfort initially expressed by D19872 is noted by all subjects. Metropolitan areas are devoid of all residents. 21 kilometers per second, 2064. Numerous murals and large paintings of a large hand can be seen on the ground. Numerous buildings spontaneously lose chunks, only for them to reappear. 21 kilometers per second squared. 2064. Previous murals have disappeared. Graffiti is present on nearly every building in every United States metropolitan area, stating that a force known as the Hand is here, repairing the continuum. Large amounts of saliva-like fluid spontaneously appear in the air as well, and no residents are seen anywhere on the continental United States. Due to massive gravitational abnormalities, leaving the continent is impossible. Holy fuck. So it could be that the train is localized within like America because that's where it's sent from or something, but like at certain speeds it can explore wherever it wants. So it could be that this is like a predicted future. This could be like it's just an alternate future river of time that is only explorable via this train method, and it means nothing. It could be that it is explorable only via the train method, but it means everything. So who knows? I'm fucking losing it. I just saw fucking Cerno Fumo Faith meme. That's great. Post that in the Discord if you will, please. That's funny. "22 kilometers per second, New Year's Day 2065. Buildings intermittently suffer spontaneous spatial displacements and continue fading in and out. Occasionally 2 buildings crash to the ground, resulting in their destruction before returning to their original position. Upon returning, no sign of damage is present. No residents are seen. The test is aborted after 15 minutes. This sounds literally like the end of Interstellar. We just like keep making it crazier and crazier. Alright, Murph, like start walking upside down in the fucking quantum park that's right outside your window that we all have. By the way, I'm gonna drive straight into the black hole. Like, what? No, I'm thinking of something else, right? It's, there's some other movie that has, like, a similar ending. And, like, at the true ending, where he figures out all the timelines. He gets, like, the real ending where he's, like, he keeps dying. Because that's where it just all ends at that. Like, he figured out how to become the oldest version of himself. He lived the longest version of himself. And he just, like, keeps looking out of his window and reality keeps fucking breaking. He's the only one left, and reality keeps fucking breaking. And he, like, glitches out of reality. He's like, oh yeah, I solved that timeline, I think. Because I accidentally, like, made myself too old. I went to, like, the super future where we, like, figured out quantum physics too much. And I was the only one left because I couldn't understand it. They sent me back. 22 kilometers per second squared, 2065. I need to figure out what that movie is, because that's great. Upper Manhattan appears to have vanished, leaving a crater. This crater is affected by gravitational perceptual anomalies, and thus inaccessible, imperceptible, and is constantly expanding. It is theorized that any form of matter does not exist within the crater. 23 kilometers per second squared, 2065. The crater has expanded to encompass all of North America. A singularity is detected approximately 170 million kilometers away near the sun. Okay. 23.5 kilometers per second squared. 2066. The crater has ceased expansion, encompassing all of North and South America. See Incident 4437/4. Localized singularity. Entirely within South and North America? Addendum 4437.4, Incident 4437/4. Note, due to the presence of emptiness in 2065, active radio communication was impossible. The video was recorded by security cameras on the subway car and sent to Foundation personnel as part of a failsafe. Begin log. D19872 can be seen attempting to control the car's direction. D19872. Damn thing won't fucking turn. I said I don't want to do it again, Alex. He falls silent. D19872. Fuck you, Alex. Fuck you. Large amounts of light can be seen falling into the event horizon of this singularity. D19872. Ah, shit. The car does not change its track. The lever is unable to be moved by D19872. D19872. Hell. A loud sound can be heard as the camera detects movement farther back of the train. An alternate view shows the entire back half has disappeared. The metal shows no signs of being ripped or torn. D19872. I fucking told them. I said. The back half is reattached. Its origin is unknown. It is then torn off again. This loop continues for approximately 3 minutes. Nice Crayon Shin-chan music. I fucking D19872. I fucking told them. I said. Light can be seen as the car is pulled closer to the center of the singularity. The roof can be seen caving in. D19872. I fucking told them. I said. I'm sorry. The back half of the car disappears again. The metal displays signs of being torn, with 5 distinct finger-like marks made on the remaining car. D19872. Fuck you. Fuck you, Alex. I said I don't want to do it again, Alex. The front half of the train enters the event horizon. D18972. D19872. Hell, I'm sorry. The subway car is flattened before being ripped in two. D19872 is killed on impact. The back half returns as transmission cuts out, and log. K-class scenario, paradox, safe, temporal vehicle. Arguably it wouldn't be safe if you're being told to pilot the fucking thing, but okay, they drove him to his death. That's one example of, like, we paint the protagonist as a bad guy, and he's actually, like, a pretty alright guy. Like, that sucked, but that was a good one. Alright. What's this, like, Faith Fumo meme? What's this? The snakehead hunter. Sorno the unholy baka. What the? What the? This is a whole, like, fucking Twitter video. What's this? I'm gonna click it, I'm gonna open it, and it's like the fucking... Okay, hold on. I copied the Discord text. Thanks, Discord. Whenever I say copy message text, like the message link. You know, whatever. It doesn't matter. You're not listening to what I want. What the fuck? Mortis. Mortis. Does this have the sound effects? Please. Mortis. There you go. That's what Fumo sounds like. Okay, if you were curious, now you know what, like, the nightmare fuel will sound like in your dreams tonight whenever you die from it. From the Fumo eating your soul in all of your dreams. That was great, thank you for that. Alright, 261, item number 261, object class safe. Special containment procedures. Any access to 261 must be approved by staff with level 2 security clearance or higher. Any and all items dispensed by 261 must be recorded, along with the amount of money entered and the amount of time elapsed between uses. Currently, 261 may be used only 10 times in a 24-hour period. with no transaction exceeding the equivalent of 500 Japanese yen. Testing approved by Site Command is not under these restrictions. Items dispensed by 261 should be reviewed by Site... All the characters' voices are like Microsoft say, yeah. Mortis. Mortis. I can't even fucking do it. Mortis. There you go. Close enough. Items dispensed by 261 should be reviewed by site health and safety officials before consumption. Failure to do so releases the Foundation from any obligation regarding negative effects. Items deemed dangerous or useful to research will be confiscated by site security, with financial compensation provided in proportion to money spent. Description: 261 appears to be a large black vending machine with no front glass panel, and a small keypad on the right side. 261 was recovered in Yokohama, Japan. 261 was brought to the Foundation's attention after investigation of an urban legend about a magic vending machine that was circulating on the internet. 261 was found in a back alley behind a large shopping center with a handwritten sign saying "out of order" in Japanese taped to it. 261 has no marks or identification of any kind, and no locals remember when or how it came to be in its current location. Internally, 261 appears to be a basic vending machine equipped to vend food and beverage items. After a key was made and the front door opened, no abnormal materials were found, and it was determined that 261 has never actually contained any food or beverage item. The keypad, while connected and operating correctly, does not activate any of the dispensing mechanisms. Once again, it's like the future technology that does magic stuff, and we just can't figure out how the fuck it works. We cast like a futuristic magic spell on it that we just can't decipher or like reverse engineer. We can only like begin to understand how the thing works. When money is placed into 261 and a 3-digit number is entered on the keypad, 261 will vend a random item. 261 has not accepted any currency other than yen, with rejected currency being deposited in the coin return slot. It is unknown how these items appear. However, 261 will not operate when the door is open, or when recording devices are placed inside. The number entered on the keypad has no effect on the item vended, nor has any pattern been detected. Items are always some form of snack food, and typically have bright, attention-grabbing packaging. 261 is capable of operating with no external power supply, but operation in this state will cause unstable vending to occur much more quickly than normal. If 261 is used several times in a short period of time and/or large amounts of money are entered before an item is vended, 261 will start to dispense bizarre items. While still food, their suitability for human consumption is often non-existent. So I get like a carbon nuclear rod, right? Log of items vended during testing phase 8. 800 yen entered for each item. Items being dispensed every 2 minutes. 261 is attached to power. Coke Zero. A can of Diet Coke, packaging in English. Cheetos. A small bag of Cheetos snack food, packaging in English. Black. A single pack of caffeinated chewing gum, packaging in Japanese. Yan. A single yan cone with peach dipping frosting, packaging in Japanese. The Meiji Seika company does not produce this flavor. Pepsi Dragon Twist. A can of Pepsi Cola with a trace of fruit flavor, packaging in English. Flavor identified as dragon fruit. PepsiCo does not produce this product. Dark Side Cola. A can with clear plastic sides, packaging in Japanese. Liquid inside is clear. When opened, liquid appears to react to the air and changes to dark black over a period of several seconds. How did I know that was going to happen? The black coloration looks like billowing smoke and cannot be reversed. Liquid's taste described as cola with something spicy in it. I think I might have read this one too. Is this just coincidence? Am I like getting deja vu? I don't know. The Little Bakery, 7 grain. A small tube the size of a candy bar with a green button. Made of aluminum, packaging in English. When the top is twisted off, a mass of dough is extruded. Dough contains several enzymes and bacteria that have not yet been identified. On contact with air, these cause the dough to rise and bake, killing the microbes in the process. This is like a chemical bread. It doesn't require like the traditional heat. It's a chemical heat that like expands on the inside. This is not impossible. We have stuff like this. Produces a small round loaf of bread weighing 250 grams. Taste described as good but chewy. This actually exists. I don't know like what the fuck this is though. The little bakery 7 grain. But this product in and of itself and its description does exist. Lemon clams. Thick plastic baggie with a plastic tube on the side containing water and 12 clams. Packaging in Dutch. Following unpackaged instructions, the plastic tube was cracked like a glow stick. Liquid in the back flashed to steam, venting from a hole that popped open in the top of the bag, slightly burning one researcher. Huh. Steaming finished after 38 seconds, after which clams were found to be fully cooked and infused with a mild lemon flavor. An investigation clams match no recorded species. So, the bread? Chemical bread? I don't really know like how precise that is that we have. I remember reading about that. There's like some version of that. And it probably is, you know, way more complex and it takes more time and whatever, but okay. We get fucking glow stick clams. Diet Ghost. A can containing an instance of SCP-2107. Packaging was in English. Testing done on this instance provided similar results to other contained instances of 2107. This marks the first time 261 has vended another SCP object. Okay. It's a fucking can of ghost soda. What the fuck? Uh-huh. Unknown. Small mesh bag filled with small multicolored pyramids. Packaging in an unknown language. Pyramids found to be very hard and unpleasant tasting, compared to chalk in taste and consistency. When placed in hot water, pyramids open and produce strings that quickly dissolve, coloring the water the same shade as the pyramid. Water had no additional taste, but testing revealed a sharp increase in mineral, carbohydrate, and protein count. But testing revealed a sharp increase in mineral, carbohydrate, and protein content, with several minerals unidentified at the present time. This content was found to be consistent with the recommended daily intake of nutrients for adult humans. Researcher ingesting the water reported stomach cramps 2 hours later, but no other effects. It's like a superfood, but it doesn't taste that good. Unknown. Aluminum box with small glass window on the side. Aluminium. Aluminum box with a small glass window on the side and a large round button on the top, packaging in an unknown language. Box is seamless and appears to be filled with small round animals covered in fur, each with 3 small paws and a single large eye. Pressing the button causes the inside of the box to rapidly become superheated, cooking the small animals alive. Muffled noises and scratching were heard for several seconds during the cooking process. After 1 minute 30 seconds, the front panel opens and gives access to the now cooked animals. Professor Kane volunteered to eat the animals, but no other researcher willing to do so. Taste described as crunchy and very spicy, with a small hint of beef. So it's like the desperation vending machine. Something tells me that this was like, you know, more of the future technology kind of thing, but it's like if society collapses, yet we still have money. This would fit perfectly into Shin Megami Tensei. But anyway. Okay, how much yen can we like fit in the machine? We don't know like how money works anymore. And it just gives you like, you put like fucking $3,000 in there. You put all your coins in there, it gives you like some fucking superfood that'll help you survive. But it tastes like horrible. And it like mutates you. I'm just theory crafting. And that's just SCP Foundation Wiki theory. Unknown. Tall, thin aluminum can, packaging in an unknown language. Opening the can caused a chemical reaction with the liquid inside the can. Liquid was apparently not intended for an oxygenated atmosphere and detonated violently, causing several injuries and killing 2 researchers. Testing discontinued and area cleared. Testing area observed to smell like citrus for several days. Note, subsequent testing recorded in experiment log 261 ad de. What does that mean? Is that Latin for something? Oh my god. Oh my god. 500 yen. Powered item. Spice bomb. Small gumball. Red and orange banded in color with packaging in Japanese. Tasted like jalapeno flavored gum. Extremely spicy. Testing was halted temporarily in order to allow Dr. Blank to vomit and consume antacids. Okay. Wait. Money entered 500 yen. Powered object. Powered 261 is powered. Item description SCP-417 fruit. Huh? Okay. Room was evacuated briefly before the item. In airtight packaging. Was sent to be incinerated. Packaging in unknown language. Based. Money entered 100 yen. The machine was powered on. Suppository. Item was not used. Test run later revealed mint flavoring and a high nutritional value. Packaging in unknown language resembling Greek. Complete with diagram of how to use. Okay. There's way too many entries. Did the AI make this or like what? This is so long. Oh, I just what? Money entered 600 yen. Powered machine. White cellophane envelope. Lettering on envelope reads aged meat product. Angahara language. Phonetically transcribed into Hebrew alphabet. Envelope contains rotten, maggot-infested meat, probably avian in origin. What? Money entered. 600 yen. Powered machine. Pull tab aluminum can labeled Billy Beer. And packaged in the same manner as novelty beer product produced by Falls City Brewing Company in the United States in the late 1970s. Can labeling includes the endorsement, "I had this beer brewed just for me. I think it's the best I've ever tasted, and I've tasted a lot. I think you'll like it too, Billy Carter." Can contains a liquid that appears to be beer. Subject consumed some and reported symptoms of mild intoxication for the following 72 hours. That's some Billy Beer right there from Bill Battle Pass himself. The fuck? You must have spent a lot of time writing this one, huh, friend? Okay, money entered 300 yen with alternative testing subjects written on it in Japanese Romaji. Okay. Unpowered machine. Item description, a bright orange package, unmarked. When opened, an object from within the box rapidly inflated. The object was revealed to be a featureless humanoid figure composed of vinyl, wearing a standard D-Class personnel uniform. Further examination revealed the interior of the object to be filled with vanilla custard. Fucking put it there. Fucking put it there. Okay, we put a message on the yen in Japanese Romaji. And we get like we get a return. This thing's fucking great. This is fucking great. I'd love to read all this one, but this is gonna... Just the bonus one took me so long. This was gonna take me all goddamn night, and then until the next morning, and then past that. This was great. If you want a really entertaining one. Experiment log 261AD-DE. What the fuck is this? Money entered 108 yen. 261 was powered on. Item description, Nirvana cubed. Small white box with a removable lid, unmarked, save for the product's name on the lid in small black font. Once opened, subject became obscured by a bright light that began emanating from the box. After 4 seconds, the light ceased, revealing the subject to have vanished and the box to have closed. Further attempts to produce this effect have failed. Box was found to contain several brown crumbs, identified as cookie batter. They ascended, and we got cookies as payment. I don't know. What the fuck? Yeah, 108 yen. What's this? I'm not gonna read all of this, but remind me one day and I'll come back to this. What the fuck? What the fuck? Money entered 100 yen. 261 powered or unpowered. Unpowered. Item description: 1 slice of stonky. 1 slice of Stonky brand chocolate cake with vanilla frosting and lingonberry jam filling. Packaging in English, Romanian, and ancient moo. Was reported to taste decent if a little stale. Product not manufactured by the Halliburton Corporation. Note redacted. Casualties were conservatively estimated in the low 40s. 10 deaths reported, including Dr. Sonata. A home in Kenosha, Wisconsin was also destroyed, although research indicated that home was immediately abandoned prior to the sky changing color. The Department of Analytics is investigating various changes in political regimes around the world. I'm dead. I'm so fucking dead. I'm dead. Dr. Menard. I'm halting this particular round of testing before we continue. Something's not right. We can't underestimate just how dangerous that was. And ultimately, the loss of the testing room at this particular site should serve as a lesson to everyone else. I do not wish for my department to be called down again in relation to 261. If it hurts to look at, I think it's common sense not to eat it. I'm gonna fucking cry. I'm gonna fucking cry. I'm gonna fucking... This is... Stonky brand chocolate cake with vanilla frosting and lingonberry jam filling. The packaging in English, Romanian, and ancient moo. Yeah? Like one of the oldest fucking languages we could ever like fucking decipher as humanity? It has moo on it. And a home in Kenosha, Wisconsin was also destroyed. Just right over there. Hold on, let me just like leave my house and go like see this destroyed house in Kenosha, Wisconsin that I can verify that like the foundation has talked about. No, let me go and look at it. Let me go and look at it and verify for all of us. Here I go, I pull out my smartphone camera. I start recording, I go, hey guys, it's me, Brendan. I just went to the Kenosha, Wisconsin exploded house from the SCP Foundation Wiki. There it is. Okay. What? This one's a little fucking wild. This one's very silly. 200 yen, powered on. A featureless red bag containing approximately double blank milliliters of human vomit. Analysis revealed the vomit mixture to be composed mostly of various candy materials. Money entered 600 yen. 261 powered or unpowered. Powered. Item description: a plastic box of chewing gum and a large pink teddy bear, packaged together with a vacuum polyester bag labeled Hunhan Restaurant Opinjashkun Maslikaniglian Otigrian Masikun Return Clickilana You Mama can fetch Hulihun, meaning unknown. The bag was open and D11424 was given a single chewing gum from the box. D11424 reported the gum to be tasteless. I'm doing Faith Jonah art right now. It was kind of silly looking. I hope your art turns out good. Fucking Bill Battle Pass, yeah. Can't wait to see your art. Dr. Chair, while inspecting it, accidentally activated a mechanism within the teddy bear, causing it to become activated and start singing a lullaby in an unknown language. D11424, who listened to the song's lyrics, reported the gum's taste to begin changing. As the song progressed, D11424 reported sensing various tastes in their mouth, ranging from pleasant to utterly disgusting. Testing was halted after D11424 spat out the gum and claimed that it had started to taste insufferably awful. D11424. Fuck. God, I have no words for that. Pretty sure I just tasted pig shit or something like that. What even is this? Inspection of the gum chewed by D11424 revealed two abnormalities in its composition. What? The item was placed under containment for testing, and this round of testing with 261 was halted at this point by Dr. Chair. Dr. Armchair sitting at like his desk job, just typing away at this like 261 additional log. We've gotten like Nirvana out of this in like Kenosha, Wisconsin. Money entered 0 yen in the form of a single 0 yen coin, as dispensed by 261 in an earlier test. Powered on. Item description: bag containing a full meal of burger, fries, onion rings, and a large Coke similar to that purchased from blank, but with all nutritional information and ingredients list censored. Bag given to D-class test subject. Subject reports that meal had absolutely no flavor, a uniformly smooth and uninteresting texture, and did not reduce her hunger at all. 0 yen. Pushed coin return button. Unpowered. Red aluminum can labeled simply "Stop that" in block letters. Intermittently buzzing heard from within can, as of a large angry insect. Subject to claim to open container. Stop paying no money. Hatred and vitriol? Money entered 500 yen. Unpowered. Item description: most horrendously painful hangover ever candy shot. Japanese packaging bearing the logo of the brand Offspring and tiny, super deformed likenesses of the band smashing a generic salaryman's head with jackhammers. Oh. Candy appeared to be gummy shot glasses full of various solid color gummy. Taste varied from candy to candy, but was generally extremely sweet. Am I? Candy was examined and shown to have no alcoholic content, despite slight flavor that insinuated otherwise. Ingredient list on back listed only hatred and vitriol in English. No other ingredients listed anywhere on package in any language. Although note on the underside of the package states that the candy may aggravate dairy allergies. I kind of like that. Certain foods have that, where it just tastes slightly alcoholic. Whether it's like through the process of making and like the alcohol is removed, but you can taste it, or it just does. I don't know, I kind of like that taste a little bit. Yeah, money entered 1 yen. Powered on a single kernel of popped kettle corn. 10 yen powered on 5 pieces of the traditional Indonesian snack klepon. Item was placed on top of a banana leaf holder and wrapped in plastic with no labels or expiration dates. This thing just seems kind of like a utopia machine. After we figure out how to like give it just infinite 1 yen coins that we like will verify that give us a full meal, you know. There you go. Well, that's very, very full exegesis, complete supplemental log of 261. Collaboration Dr. Iceberg, Dr. King, Dr. Wright's experiment supplement. Let's move on to 262. Appliance ectoentropic exchange food safe. This looks like your face. I don't know if I'm allowed to share it, but that's great. When I finished this, the first thing I thought of was when you come. Yeah, and when you finish Faith, that's like the reaction face, and then you send that image with that capture to the dev, and they're like, thumbs up. They're like, yeah, thumbs up. When you come to my game. 262, item number 262. It is me. Yeah, I'm not going to share it unless you give me permission then. Object Class Euclid, Special Containment Procedures. Currently, 262 is undergoing review and research to see if it is capable of being used by field agents in the acquisition of other SCPs. Monitored use by commander-level authority is preferable. It is inadvisable to allow agents unsupervised usage of 262 at this time. When not in use, 262 is kept in a climate-controlled room at Site Double Blank, guarded by at least 2 Level 2 security personnel. Description: 262 is a light brown, European military-style greatcoat from a period between the late 1500s to the early 1900s. It is without any specific designations or markings, leading researchers to believe it was an original archetype sample, intended to be submitted to military officials for approval as part of a new uniform design. Yeah, I was kind of guesstimating that that's what it was. The pattern was either rejected or lost because it was never implemented. It is made of wool and extends below the knee on most individuals. Carbon dating of the code fibers has been inconclusive, placing the age of 262 in the range of 6,200 to 6,400 years old. 6,200 to 6,400 years old. One explanation is that the wool used to create 262 is perhaps thousands of years old, but the code itself was cut, sewn, and assembled recently. That could be it. Yeah, it's like ancient wool. 262 is capable of manifesting numerous arms from within the dark inner lining. When worn, any subject wearing 262 needs only to open the coat to materialize hands and arms, which are somewhat under the subject's control. Most limbs are human in nature and vary in skin tones, length, and strength. A noted few include bullet, a reptilian-like scaled tentacle some 4 meters (13 foot) long. Bullet, 4 semi-transparent arm-like appendages made of cellulose over 10 meters (33 feet) long, with 4 fingers, 2 elbow-like joints, and no wrists. Bullet, the clawed paw of a large cat, possibly a cougar or mountain lion. Bullet, several feet and legs that appear randomly. Excuse me, I gotta tab out for a second. I just remembered it's something I have to do, but I'm like on the cusp of it. It's some website for my Switch. What did I have to do? Something with my fucking Nintendo account. What was it? Yeah, I'm just gonna type that to myself. There's stuff that I needed to look up. It's fine. I just remembered it right now as a thing. My Nintendo Switch, no! The Foundation is taking it from me! That's cool. Like, it could be that the ancient wool is from, like, elder ancestors that had, like, abilities that we can't even comprehend. You know, it's just time travel. Who knows? The Bren CU, Bren Cinematic Universe. I kind of like being faceless in the Bren fandom. That's fine. Yeah, I get that. That's why I still don't really know what I want to make whenever it comes to art of myself. Like, do I just make like a bald guy wearing like a hat with like fucking 5 o'clock shadow? Oh yeah, there's me. I have like some ideas for like OCs, quote unquote, but then that's just a realm of like, oh, I make art for something else, you know? Yeah. The space under 262 is considered to be non-Euclidean in nature, and the code itself divergent from normal dimensions. In one instance, test subject 402M was told to put 262 over his head. Upon doing so, 262 fell to the ground as the Class D personnel disappeared under it. Sometime later, fingerprinting of objects that have come into contact with the limbs of 262 have identified one of the arms as that of subject 402M. Okay. Soul Steel. Subjects properly wearing 262 are able to manipulate these arms with a varying amount of control. Test subject 301F was able to perform multiple tasks at once even while unaware and blindfolded, leading researchers to believe that 262 has both perception and awareness of its surrounding, even when the subject is not. Some believe 262 to be fully sentient due to observing 262. Bullet, playing a piano with 2 or more hands, though the test subject has had no formal training in music. Bullet, defending itself/subject from multiple attackers. Bullet, several limbs fighting one another or even going against the subject's will. Bullet, at times when a subject attempts to smoke, a particular limb will remove the cigarette from the subject's mouth and then throw it away. At other times, a different hand will place a cigarette into the subject's mouth and light it, though the subject dislikes smoking. Okay. So it's like we've been grabbed into the JoJo stand that like you're just permanently part of the arm's limbs. And it's like just an artifact that like it steals anybody for like co-opting them. So some of them decide to help the user of the stand, and others are like, I'm just stuck in here. Fuck. Bren, CEO. Acquisition. 262 came into the Foundation's care when the Administrator relinquished his ownership of the coat in the late 20th century. Because of his status, the Administrator is granted special rights, which effectively allow him to remain silent about the origins of 262, how he came to possess it, and how he has used it in the past. The Administrator released 262 to the Foundation, stating, "In the right hands, it could be extremely useful. In the wrong hands, it could be extremely dangerous. In my hands, it was becoming extremely dusty and moth-ridden, and taking up far too much space in my closet." So it's like the concept of, I was just talking about Doctor Who, but this is the extended universe, just the books alone, that's part of the core universe, and then what just happened on screen. The concept of, like, we could just fit, like, 20 million people into, like, one time machine, the size of, like, one human. And so, like, you know, you could use this power for good or evil. Will you just, like, use this for good, and all of those arms coming out of the time machine are for a good purpose? You know, we use this to fight evil. Or are we just gonna, like, take the time machine that can fit 20 million people into it, and then just, like, you know, make another and fit 20 more into it, 20 more million, and then just keep, like, here's my, like, 20,000 people that contain 20 million in them. Okay, and I just have everybody here. They're all mine now. You know. Addendum 01. Selected notes from further research regarding the properties of 262. Bullet. Case study 26211. Inversion of 262. Bullet. Trial 7. After putting on 262 properly, Subject 722M attempts to turn the right arm sleeve inside out as he removes his arm. Many disembodied voices cry in apparent pain. Subject 722M is instructed to continue inverting the sleeve. Multiple arms emanating from within the lining of 262 reach out and attack Subject 722M. In an attempt to remove the coat, Subject 722M tries to retract his arm, but in doing so, inverts the sleeve of the coat. A long cellulitic arm appears from the opposite inner lining, reaches around and up through the inverted sleeve, grasps Subject 722M's caught hand, and pulls violently, the force of which dislocates the subject's shoulder and amputates the arm at the elbow. With 262 in typical position, all emanating arms retreat, and audible wailing of voices cease. Subject 722M's wounds are treated, and his condition is inconsequential. Wow, okay. So yeah, it's kind of got, like, his mind of its own. Don't fuck with, like, the Great Void. Like, the armor full of people. Bullet. Case study 26242. Placement of 262 on a mannequin. Bullet. Trial 1. 262 is placed on an anatomically correct human male mannequin dressed in typical SCP personnel attire. After several minutes, a single human arm emanating from the inner lining of 262 reaches up towards the mannequin's face. After several prods of apparent curiosity, the arm retreats and no further movement is recorded for the duration of the test. Bullet. Trial 4. SCP researchers placed 262 over the head and shoulders of a similar but different mannequin. After a few moments, 262 fell to the ground with the entirety of the test mannequin disappearing below it. Addendum. It has been noted that a rigid wooden arm resembling that of the test mannequin has been witnessed emanating from 262 since this trial. So it's like candidacy. If it sees that it's relevant enough for taking, then it will. Me when I'm voiding. I'm voiding! Bullet. Case study 262-307. Placement of 262 on a recently deceased human being. Bullet. Trial 1. Research personnel put 262 onto the body of a recently deceased Class D personnel, recently terminated in an experiment with SCP expunged. The body is whole, unscathed, and mounted into a seated position on a chair. After a few moments, a single human arm emanating from the inner lining of 262 reaches up towards the body's face. After several prods of apparent curiosity, the arm retreats. After several more moments, the body which 262 is on begins shaking violently. A popping and snapping sound is heard, and the deceased's hands, visible at the end of the sleeves, suddenly retract. The body then stills. A human hand reaches up the back of the deceased's neck from the collar and pulls the head up into an upright position. Numerous hands and arms crisscross from the chest and abdomen and straighten the body. Numerous hands and arms crisscross the chest and abdomen and straighten the body. Two cellulitic arms reach down the body's legs and grip the ankles. 262 pulls the body into a standing position as other arms of cellulose come down each sleeve. Huh. It's very unique in its methods of being armored. Bullet 262 continues by breaching containment and overpowering security. At the time, MTF Epsilon 9, aka Fire Eaters, were present in the facility to provide reinforcements. Discharging their flame accelerators in aggressive fashion, members of MTF E9 were able to corner 262 in a blind hallway. When cornered, a hand from within 262 pulled the coat up and over the head of the body it was using. 262 collapsed to the ground with the body of the Class D personnel disappearing beneath it. It is unknown if the incident was caused by the will of 262 or the will of the body of the recently deceased Class D personnel used. Fission Mail, you couldn't get out of there. Come back into the void. Get back in there, soldier. Clothing, Euclid extra-dimensional extremity, historical, the administrator. Historical, the administrator. This is the history of the SCP Foundation. It's also, just the administrator in general. That is the history of the SCP Foundation as well. So, glad to see some the administrator stuff. 263. Item number 263, Object Class Safe, Special Containment Procedures. 263 is to be stored in a low-value item storage vault at Site-19. It may be removed for testing provided permission from a Level 3 researcher in a fire-resistant area to conduct testing in. All testing with 263 is to be recorded. Subjects testing 263 are allowed a mobile telephone, a PDA, or one... Wow, that's outdated. All testing with 263 is to be recorded. Subjects testing 263 are allowed a mobile telephone, a PDA, or a netbook computer with full unrestricted access to a complete, synchronized copy of the Foundation's databanks, stored in a dedicated database server to guarantee full retrieval of any records entry in no more than 200 milliseconds, if and only if they are terminated immediately after testing is concluded. Netbook computer. Mobile telephone's old. PDA is old. The netbook computer. I got one right here. Here's my GPD Pocket 2 7-inch laptop. Yeah, but that's a modern netbook. What are we talking about? Old netbook. We got the Asus EEE up in this. You're only allowed to take a netbook in. Alright, I got one right here. 05 clearance has got one. All recordings of testing on 263 are to be reviewed by a researcher with level 4 or clearer high-ends. What? Clearer high-ends. All recordings of testing on 263 are to be reviewed by a researcher with level 4 or higher clearance and censored where necessary to prevent access to restricted material. All researchers observing 263 during testing are to be administered a local amnestic and have their notes confiscated. Research notes from testing require permission from a researcher with level 4 clearance to access. Description: 263 is a black and white television bearing the logo of the Thomson Company. It matches no known model of television, but it has a similar style and construction to televisions built in the year 1961. 263 is fully intact, but has sustained minor cosmetic damage to the screen and frame. 263 has been observed to function even when not connected to a power outlet. When switched on, the TV always displays the interior of a studio, whose design bears similarities to studios of television games shows from the 1960s. A large logo saying cash or ash in large stylized letters can be seen on the back wall of the studio, and an unidentified music piece is playing in the studio at all times. The only man visible in the studio is SCP-263-1. 263-1 appears to be a male human of Caucasian descent of approximately 35 years of age, dressed in a suit that matches a style commonly worn between the years 1959 and 1964. 263-1 has a demeanor that has been described as blithe, enthusiastic, and over-the-top. 263-1 is smiling almost constantly. As soon as a human turns 263 on, 263-1 will look directly at the subject and say that the subject is a new competitor who just tuned into the Cash or Ash show. He will then state that he wishes the subject lots of luck in answering 3 fiendish questions and getting the cash and not ash. 263-1's exact phrasing varies slightly between each usage of 263. 263-1 will proceed to ask the questions. The questions asked by 263-1 are always related to the environment surrounding 263. If inside of a fully enclosed structure, 263-1 will ask questions about the owners, history, and design of the structure. If outside of an enclosed structure, 263-1 will ask questions pertaining to the history, geology, ecosystem, and weather patterns of the surrounding area. While inside of a Foundation facility, all of the questions are related to various SCPs in possession or in the records of the Foundation or about the history and architecture of the site in which it is stored. Many of them are inquiries upon rather basic information easily found in documents accessible by low-level personnel, but some of them concern specific minutiae found only in certain esoteric documents which require high clearance and or are rather complicated to find or reach. In each case, the information is needed to correctly answer the question. In each case, though, the information needed to correctly answer the question can be gathered from Foundation records. For a full list of questions asked by 263-1 while in Foundation possession, see document 263-Q1. If within the next 45 seconds the subject supplies a correct answer, their success will be acknowledged and briefly congratulated upon by 263-1. If, however, the subject's answer... Sorry, I'm really kind of distracted. Where is this? There we go. Yeah, speaking of netbook, I'm like needing to charge the damn thing. Yeah, there you go. I said I'm needing to damn charge the damn thing. Yeah, there it is. If, however, the subject answers incorrectly or does not answer within 45 seconds, 263-1 will say, "Time's up, so sorry," and the subject will immediately combust. The flames are always of both high temperature and intensity and will always fully enclose the subject within 4 seconds. All attempts to extinguish the fire after this point have been unsuccessful. Well, that sounds like nightmare fuel. After 42 seconds, the fire will disappear, along with the remains of the subject who burns entirely. After 42 seconds have passed, 263-1 will look out towards the place where the subject combusted and state that the failure is a pity, and that hopefully the next competitor will avoid the ash and get away with the cash. 263 will then turn off on its own. If during the 45 seconds someone whispers to the subject, audibly speaks to the subject leaves the area directly in front of 263, or the subject interacts with a computer greater than 25 centimeters. 263-1 will accuse the subject of cheating, and the subject will combust in the same manner as described above. 263 will then remark on the dwindling ethics of today's people, and 263 will switch itself off. Portable consumer electronic devices such as mobile telephones, PDAs, laptop... I understand now. Portable consumer electronic devices such as mobile telephones, PDAs, and laptop computers smaller than 25 Portable consumer electronic devices such as mobile telephones, PDAs, and laptop computers smaller than 27 centimeters do not cause the subject to combust, thus allowing the subject to find the information required to correctly answer the question within the provided time. Netbooks don't matter. Your ethics are intact. You're not cheating if you use a netbook. Nice. If the subject correctly answers all three questions, 263-1 will say, "Congratulations, you have won the cash. Here's your prize." 263 will then turn itself off, and a prize will appear in front of the subject. To be fair, I have a UMPC. Not even a netbook. This is fucking UMPC. The prizes given away by 263 appear to have no discernible theme or pattern. So far, the following prizes have been given. Bullet. A marble figurine of a dragon, 5.3 centimeters long. Microscopic observation confirmed the micrometer-sized details are present. Microscopic observation confirmed that micrometer-sized details are present. Value, $48,237. Bullet. Jade statues, which appear similar to ordinary US dollars. However, the faces of the presidents are all replaced with the smiling face of 263-1. Same detail in carving as the dragon figurine listed above. Value $226,700. Value $226,703. $226,703, I was going to say. $226,703. Bullet. A clockwork figurine. 400. I'm rolling my eyes so fucking hard. A clockwork figurine, 4 centimeters tall, made of brass and walking around randomly when wound. A clockwork figurine, 4 centimeters tall, made of brass and walking around randomly when wound. The figurine depicts an unknown, vaguely squid-like creature. Value $21,424. A series of 8 bullet. A series of 8 gold-plated miniature statuettes. Bullet. A series of 8 gold-plated miniature statuettes resembling humanoid anomalies contained at Site 19, including SCP-1770. The statuettes are marked with the anomaly's object number on the base and do not appear otherwise anomalous. Value $17,315. All attempts to inquire 263-1 about himself or 263 have proven ineffective. 263-1 does not react to any questions or statements, save for the question answers or any cheating attempts. Appliance, electronic, fire, game, knowledge, rewrite, safe, sapient. Okay. Here's 1770, I guess. I don't know. I'm not going to read this one right now. Alright, let's move on. 264. Alright. 264, item number 264, object class safe. Special containment procedures. 264 is to be contained in a 16 by 16 meter room of standard reinforcement. 2 guards to be stationed outside of this room at all times. Circulated. 2 guards are to be stationed outside of this room at all times. Circulated every 24 hours. The room is to be monitored every day for a minimum of 2 hours. 264 requires no nourishment of any type. No support is necessary either, as 264 suspends itself through an unknown source of levitation. Note, as of double blank 2000 single blank. Only agents blank blank, blank blank deceased, blank blank, and Dr. blank blank are permitted to visit 264. Failure to comply will result in reassignment, pending transgressor's condition. See Addendum 264-01. 264 has noted previously some attachment to the aforementioned agents, as they were part of the team that originally discovered data expunged. In addition, both agents blank blank and blank blank were on location during data expunged. Suggest keeping them on site until further notice. Dr. Carnival. Description: 264 is a skeleton. Description: 264 is a skeleton of humanoid appearance, estimated at 2 meters in height. Its skull is slightly elongated, and 2 metal protrusions extend from either kneecap. 264's torso and upper pelvis have either been replaced by, or consists of, a structure composed of an unknown metallic substance, which resembles a temple of unknown origin. The structure is composed of several layers of balconies and terraces, with a door located at the approximate center. On this structure are dozens of carved statues that resemble men, women, children, and in a few cases animals. Statues are unable to be removed, although they appear to go about the standard activities of any tribal culture when not being viewed directly. The structure and skeleton seem to either have been mounted upon or are part of a hemisphere just over 1 meter in diameter, composed of what appears to be the same unknown metal. The edge of the hemisphere is lined with evenly spaced spikes about 2.5 centimeters (1 inch) in length. Several of the statues have been seen interacting with the sphere in various ways and seem to be aware of its existence. The backside of the hemisphere is covered in carvings of several languages, including Arabic, Hebrew, German, and blank. Translation of the blank language has been suspended indefinitely due to data expunged. See Addendum 264-02. 264 is sentient, communicating through several non-verbal forms, including Japanese, Taiwanese, Korean Sign Language, and Morse code. It is most frequently recorded communicating through writing, however, and has been noted writing in nearly every language currently discovered, including the blank language. On rare occasions, a designated statue will speak for the SCP. There have been only 2 recorded instances of this happening since its discovery. Subject refers to itself as the Guardian, and refers to the carved statues as separate entities. 264 claims to be the creator of the statues and the structure they live in. The statues appear to be aware of the Guardian's existence, as they have been observed retrieving several objects from the interior of the hemisphere, where it is presumed the structure expands. Objects retrieved from the interior include a stick of charcoal, papyrus, SCP triple blank, and a small semi-transparent marble of data expunged, which was presented to Agent Blank by one of the statuettes. So this is the concept of like, my radio, my TV, my toaster is powered by like little gnomes in it. Except it's my like prophetic machine creature beast, which is like an allegory or something, is powered by like the machine elves that it created inside of itself. Huh? How 264 is capable of communicating with its subjects is currently unknown, as neither it nor the statues emit any form of psychic readout. However, 264 has alluded to having abilities of precognition. Taken from interview 264A. 264. I saw what would happen to the doctor as easily as you see me and my people now. Dr. Carnival. How exactly did you manage to do that? 264. I traced the threads of fate. 264 refused to elaborate on what it meant. However, it can be assumed that through some force unknown, 264 is able to view the path a person may take through the course of their life. 264 is proven to have knowledge of several other SCPs currently contained, including 35, SCP triple blank, and SCP triple blank. See Interview 264A. Addendum 264-01. Due to the actions on 06-10-20 double blank, in which Dr. Blank and the civilian blank blank data expunged, 264 will allow only the aforementioned agents to converse with it. Following data expunged, Dr. Blank entered 264's cell to perform several experiments with one of the statues. At 0200 data expunged. Several hours later, a previously unseen statue was viewed emerging from the doorway located at 264's center. Close-up imaging proved the statue to be in the likeness of Dr. Blank. Well, that's fucked. Speaking of, like, the armor, and I was just talking about a TV powered by, like, machine elf gnomes. These three tie into each other quite well. Sequential. Addendum 264-02 data expunged. Note. The next stages of exploration have been enacted upon today. A fiberscope was inserted into the doorway, located at what we're guessing in the center of 264. With its permission, of course, can't have any more assistance lost to rudeness. For the most part, the view was nil. Image was distorted. Some property of 264 is interfering with the camera. Though, of course, it can't give any insight as to what causes this to happen. The phrase... What is this? I'm a fan of just, like, going to Google Translate in the middle of the stream, so, okay. Let's go. What's this? Salt armor. Shio no yoroi.
Shio no yoroi.
Okay. The phrase Shio no yoroi, inscribed on the inside of the hemisphere it's mounted on, was all we found. The Japanese translates to salt armor, though what this means we're still at a loss for. However, it does confirm our suspicions that 264 is Japanese, or at least Asian in origin, despite where it was discovered. Further exploration scheduled for 11/6. Dr. Carnival. Okay. This was last updated the 18th of January this year, so we might, like, get more on this. Humanoid in rewrite, safe, sapient, sculpture, skeletal, transfiguration. Well, look at that. In rewrite. There you go. There's a tag that demonstrates what I said. 265. Item number 265. Object class Euclid. Let's get the sad oboe out of here. And blow it up. Special containment procedures. Foundation Site 54, 109, and 110 have been provided 265 specific sub-task forces in order to study 265. Each houses a small fleet of tactical aircraft as well as agents trained in standard Foundation information gathering and interrogation techniques. Civilian cover stories and disguises are preferred. See Document 265B for further protocol. Local news outlets are to be scanned for signs of 265, and teams are to investigate possible encounters. Specific protocol is to be arranged on an incident-by-incident basis. Agents are not to instigate violence towards 265 until a better understanding of its nature can be ascertained. Description: 265 appears to be a Series 1 Gaz M21 Volga automobile, devoid of any license plating, logos, or other identifying marks. It is painted black with white-rimmed wheels and appears to be in pristine condition regardless of environment. Some accounts note that it has white curtains in all but the front windows. Note that the production of the Gaz M21 ceased in 1970, with Series 1 being produced between 1958 to 1959. 265 is absent of human occupants and appears to travel under its own power. Other details vary between encounters. It's common for individuals to report that 265 is silent while traveling, while others hear its engine idling for an extended period of time before noticing it nearby. Similarly, some encounters result in the vehicle traveling physical. Similarly, some encounters result in the vehicle leaving physical evidence such as tread marks on roads, where other encounters leave no physical traces. 265 nearly always appears in scenarios which commonly elicit dread and paranoia in subjects, such as following lone travelers and idling in home driveways for a short while before driving off. 265 has been encountered throughout Roland is what I was going to say. Roland. 265 has been encountered throughout rural Poland, far from urban centers but occasionally passing through small rural communities with populations under 500. It has been encountered at various times late in the day, with confirmed encounters having occurred at any time between 1829 hours and 0813 hours. Footnote 1. There have only been 2 confirmed encounters of the phenomenon between 0900 and 1700 hours. 265 normally moves at around 65 kilometers per hour. Footnote 2. Approximately 40 miles per hour. But has been recorded exceeding 400 kilometers per hour. Footnote 3. Approximately 250 miles per hour, in isolated instances. 265 normally moves at around 65 kilometers per hour, but has been recorded exceeding 400 kilometers per hour in isolated incidences. Addendum: Foundation capture attempt. At 2311 on double blank 20 double blank, a vehicle matching 265 description was seen idling outside a Foundation-controlled weather station at Redacted. After visually confirming the lack of human occupancy, a pursuit team, including 1 helicopter and 4 high-performance off-road vehicles, were dispatched from nearby Site 109 to follow an attempt to capture the vehicle. 265 quickly accelerated to an excess of 200 kilometers per hour and showed an unexplainable degree of maneuverability. The helicopter continued pursuit until 265 vanished into a densely forested area. The following search of the area found no trace of any vehicle, but incomplete human remains were discovered 4 kilometers away in a waterlogged area. This is Christine? Stephen King's gonna have a fucking heart attack about this one? Addendum: Similar phenomenon. Given multiple occurrences of 265 and human remains, and the similarity between their respective vehicles, it's possible that 265 may be a variant or distantly related phenomena. Addendum: Similar phenomenon. Given multiple concurrences of 265 and human remains, and the similarity between their respective vehicles, it's possible that 265 may be a variant or distantly related phenomena observed in 2613. Investigation into both anomalies is ongoing. Okay. We get a fucking car. What is that? I'm not gonna read this one yet. I'll come back to it later. But like, if you wanna, pause it or some shit. What the fuck is that? Okay. Additional documentation. Below is attached a translated series of excerpts collected from civilian sources, including audio interviews, law enforcement, news outlets, and personal diaries. This list is incomplete. Please see Dr. Seidelman for access to full records. Open file SCP-265, sample of assorted records, 1960 to present. Uh-oh. Audio log. Sometimes there's real audio logs, and you're like, wait, what? You recorded audio for this? Okay. Record. Incident transcript 265-1973-4/3. Recovered from police records of location redacted. Summary. An isolated event. Victim was taking a walk between villages in the late afternoon around 1300. A black Volga automobile with white rims appeared behind him and following at a low speed. According to the civilian, the vehicle was unusually loud and accelerated to hit him, fracturing his leg as he dove for cover. He played dead as the vehicle completed a 3-point turn to face him again and waited for several minutes before it drove off. Civilian claimed that the interior was empty of any driver or passenger. Just play dead if you see a car in the woods. Record. Diary of Civilian 265-1974-8/11. 8/11. That's like, I don't know, 8/11. Excerpt recovered from Archives of Redacted. Ellipses. Unusual event. We pursued the Volga for 9 minutes in 2 cars, during which it led us further from the town. It was growing dark, but we were confident that we could catch it. Piatek shot at it, but he missed her. The car was bulletproof. He swears that he did not miss. It then turned sharply to the right and drove into the lake. We stopped and began writing the report on the side of the road. After 3 or so minutes, Goriki drew our attention towards the lake and we saw lights emerging from the other side, and red taillights driving off into the woods on the far side. There are only 2 sets of tire tracks. We swear on the lives of our mothers that this is true, and myself and Goriki request to resign. Record. Audio 265-1982-7/31. 9:17 to 11:01. Recovered from police records of location redacted. Ellipses. The couple claimed that the vehicle, an unmarked Volga limousine painted black with white tires, appeared behind them while they were traveling. It followed them for several minutes before ramming them repeatedly and driving off. Neither could describe the driver, and both said that the offending vehicle made no noise and left no tracks. Record. Diary of Civilian 265-1989-8/11. Excerpt recovered from Archives of Redacted. I woke just past midnight and walked downstairs to fetch a drink of water. Once downstairs, I noticed lights through the window. The car from a few weeks ago was back at the end of the drive by the street. Its headlights were facing the house, and it was at the end of the... Its headlights were facing the house, and it was idling loudly. I was afraid that somebody was out there, and I almost went to wake up Pyotr and the children, but I couldn't convince myself to move. After 10 minutes, the car backed away and drove away. It looked just like the car my grandfather had at his old shop, but black and brand new. I will tell the police in the morning. Record. Incident transcript 265-1990-11/2. Recovered from police records of location redacted. On 10/29/1995, the citizen claimed to see an unconscious person in the back seat of a vehicle fitting the aforementioned description of a black M21 Volga, and provided a description of the person's appearance. This was later determined to be very similar to blank blank, who disappeared from his house near the town of blank on the same day 41 years ago. Record. Handwritten excerpt 265-1995-4/11. Recovered from police records of location redacted. I woke up around 3 in the morning and saw a car outside of my front door. It was a black Volga automobile with curtains and white wheels. I do not know why I got out of the car. It felt like I needed to get in the back seat, so I did. I remember the door was heavy when I opened it, and the inside was clean and smelled something. I remember the door was heavy when I opened it, and the inside was clean and smelled like something familiar that I cannot place. I don't remember anyone else in the car. I remember seeing water out in front of me in the headlights. That I was moving towards it, and the lights all went out, and I felt the car crash into it and go under. I held my breath as the water came over my head and opened my eyes and saw terrible things. Everything was so quiet. Things watched me with sad faces in the dark. There were so many. They touched me and I could see them begging me to illegible. I remember screaming and beating the door, and the door opened and I fell out onto the grass. I remember spitting water and somebody finding me a little while later, and I fell asleep in the car to the hospital. I'm so afraid. There were black rails and horses. They're waiting for everyone to come. A ship under everything else darker than anything. And the others are so sad. They want to touch and be happy again, but they're so far down. And it's so dark and cold. They can't come back. Well, this is like fucking dystopian, like non-human intelligence, unknown anomalous phenomena. Like, what the fuck? This just sounds like an abduction scenario. They're like just begging, like, please, like, do this again, come back. So like the, like, whatever, like forlorn, like fucking 4.6 billion years in the future, genetically engineered human / like fucking interstellar hybrids are like begging us on a great fucking huge cold spaceship that they all live on. Please just let us like hang out and see you. Autonomous Euclid mobile rewrite vehicle. That one's kind of creepy, like fucking megalophobia type of shit kind of thing. 266, item number 266, object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. 266 is to be kept at a 10 meter by 10 meter airtight containment unit with the internal temperature maintained at or above 48 degrees Celsius by an independently controlled Special containment procedures. 266 is to be kept at a 10 meter by 10 meter airtight containment unit with the internal Special containment procedures. 266 is to be kept at a 10 meter by 10 meter airtight containment unit with the internal temperature maintained at or above 48 degrees Celsius by an independently powered heating unit. Access to containment requires level 2 or above clearance, and thermal hazard suits are to be utilized and maintained during all interaction. Description: 266 is a number of free-floating masses of gaseous material possessing a natural luminescence which exists as a bright purple or red glow. In most cases, 266 feels cold to the touch and exerts an endothermic effect on its immediate surroundings. Despite having no obvious nervous system, 266 appears to react to stimuli and has been observed to learn certain habits based upon its experiences. 266 is remarkably fond of warmth and will actively seek sources of heat, natural or artificial. Of all sources, however, 266 prefers human contact as a method of obtaining warmth, oblivious to the inimical effect it has on mammalian life. Due to 266's endothermic nature, extended exposure without proper protection will lead to death by acute hypothermia. While not aggressive, 266 will grow discontent and even hostile when not provided with adequate heat, and has exhibited the This just sounds like a proto-humanoid. It likes attention. It needs something though to like propel it. We give it heat. What is like energy? What is like breaking down food but like getting energy? What is heat but energy? There you go. It's all connected. While not aggressive, 266 will grow discontent and even hostile when not provided with adequate heat, and has exhibited the capability to cause considerable havoc when deprived of warmth. Human contact has also been observed to aid in calming 266, suggesting a need or desire for social interaction. Personnel assigned to this duty have reported hearing 266 speak. Recorded excerpts of conversations have revealed that 266 is capable of speaking in an unknown Gaelic dialect, and on occasion have spoken back. 266 was discovered in Blank, Ireland, after local reports of several youth inexplicably falling victim to hypothermia at a local hot springs. These events, along with ongoing reports of will-o'-the-wisps by superstitious locals, caught Agent Blank's attention. After finding 266, he was able to lead it to a nearby site, Double Blank. Upon arrival, Agent Blank exhibited symptoms of hypothermia and was only saved by the efforts of Dr. Blank and staff. Due to Site Double Blank's containment conditions, 266 was relocated to Site 19 at first convenience. I don't know why I'm reminded of like fairies and like cryptids and like the meme of like United States cryptids. All right, get her guns. Let's get this motherfucker out of here. Like Irish, Gaelic, UK, EU cryptids. Look at the fairy. Let's go. You know, like fucking stupid, dumbass meme. I think I could probably find it really easily. In fact. America versus Europe encrypted. No. I need the meme. Yeah, there you go. There's so many variations with this. Okay. I think about this constantly and we like come full circle on it in this stream of all places. Like this fits perfectly here. Europeans with cryptids. What whimsical creatures! Let's invite them in for tea. Oi, oui, thank you. We'd love some tea. Let us celebrate. Americans with cryptids. This is the last forest you're hunting, you son of a bitch. Lamau, I'm gonna fuck your corpse when I'm done. Okay. Yeah. That's great. Like, whoever thought I was just making the joke up there. Yeah, there it is for real. This sounds like an old school Foundation reference. You know, we're used to like quarrying all sorts of things out of the fairy wilds. You know, get over here. All these cryptids. Come over to the Foundation here. We just like fucking pull it over here with like a dog collar. Addendum 266A. Audiologs recording conversations between personnel in 266 have revealed English words and phrases being used alongside its standard dialect. Current theory is that it is simply imitating these words, much like a parrot. Further documentation is requested regarding this matter. Autonomous, Euclid, Light, Sapient, Thermodynamic. Alright, 267. Item number 267, Euclid. Object class Euclid, special containment procedures. 267 is contained in a cave formation within Site 37. Live animals must be supplied to replace any that succumb during the course of feeding. A population of livestock is maintained on site for this purpose. Any personnel interacting with 267 organisms should be furnished with level 4 isolation equipment and a tranquilizer weapon and stun gun for protection. Wild occurrences of 267 must be eradicated as soon as they are detected. Recovered human victims cannot be rehabilitated, but are to be removed for use in ongoing observation of possible anti-senescent effects of 267's venomous excretions. Description: 267 are hairless, sightless, carnivorous rodents, highly adapted for subterranean life in eusocial colonies. A single nest is currently contained in the blank cave formations in blank blank. 267 is biologically similar to Heterocephalus glaber, but represents a different subspecies. What is eusocial colonies? That's like proto, right? Eusocial. Having a complex social structure in which individuals live in a colony of specialized functions, with one or more females producing offspring and non-breeding individuals cooperatively caring for the young, as in termites and many ants, bees, and wasps. So it's like a social collective of like small society, basically like the leading to society, but animals do this too. I see. Members of an 267 colony spend the vast majority of their lives underground. They lack eyes completely, and auditory and tactile senses are atrophied. They lack eyes completely, and auditory and tactile senses are atrophied. They do not seem to experience pain or any sense of self-preservation. They are extremely sensitive to smell and airborne chemical stimuli, which they use for navigation, hunting, and communication. Unlike in eusocial arthropods, there is no queen. There are caste divisions in its population, however, including workers, including... I'm thinking about this song. I'm like, what's this from? I was just thinking about this song. This is from Rune Factory, I see. There are caste divisions in its population, however, including workers, soldiers, breeders, and nursery attendants. I need to play Rune Factory. I like the idea of Harvest Moon, but Rune Factory seems cooler. 267 has sharp teeth and claws, but its primary weapon is its venom. The venom is effective in microliter amounts, and has aggressive paralytic and carcinogenic effects. In a hunt, dozens of soldiers cooperate to locate and bring down prey. They attack simultaneously, inflicting dozens of bites in a few seconds and incapacitating the target. They then drag it, conscious but immobile, back to their colony. At the colony, swarms of worker caste 267 emerge to transport the victim inside. Workers remove foreign aromas, carefully check for parasites, and physically dismantle the organism's means of locomotion to prevent escape. We Kenshi peeler them. By this time, tissues directly exposed to venom have begun to exhibit abnormal cell division. Within 24 hours, undifferentiated masses of tissue are visible at every bite location. The tumors arise spontaneously but seem to target skin and fatty tissues. As gross, they are less likely to threaten vital organ systems. This is the added benefit to 267 of producing a high concentration of energy-rich lipids for consumption. The tumors grow continuously until a few days after the larder animal's death. My god. I mean, yeah, that's just how it goes, but alright. Because of the rapid tumorigenesis, larders have massive caloric needs. Workers masticate and regurgitate root pulp to provide the larders. Wow, so they even take care of the larders. Because of the rapid tumorigenesis, larders have massive caloric needs. Workers masticate and regurgitate root pulp to provide the larders with nutrition. They seem to distinguish cancerous from healthy tissue by its scent and remove tumors for consumption once they have ripened to a desirable size. Well, this is fucking putrid. Workers have been observed licking and tending to larder animals to keep them clean and healthy. Larder animals last between 12 weeks and double blank years, depending on the species, and supply all of the colony's food. Many months typically elapse between 267's forays to the surface. Members of 267 are violently territorial and respond with overwhelming force to any intrusion into their caves. With sufficient food, they are capable of extremely rapid reproduction, a fact that has become particularly threatening since the extinction of their primary predator, blank. Addendum 267-1. Bones from human beings have been uncovered in multiple waste areas within the... Addendum 267-1. Bones from human beings have been uncovered in multiple waste areas within the caves, dating back several thousand years. Because of the difficulties in operating inside the nest, a full forensic survey of these leavings is unfeasible. 19 months after containment was first established, Larder A26 was discovered to be human, possibly blank, who disappeared along with his parents on a family trip in 19 double blank at the age of single blank. The lack of appendages combined with rampant tumor growth is responsible for delaying the initial identification. Genetic tests are consistent with human DNA with massive deleterious mutations. Attempted interviews with the subject, SCP-267-A26, have discovered only that his language faculties have atrophied over the course of his imprisonment. Addendum 267-2. 267 shows a marked preference for acquiring humans as compared to other mammals. This is likely a result of humans' long lifespan and fast metabolism compared to other prey. Human subjects provide 33% more cancerous matter per month than a similarly sized pig. Human subjects provide 33% more cancerous matter per month than a similarly sized pig, and can be kept as larder animals until the expiration of their natural lifespan. Footnote 1. There is some evidence that animals, including humans, may live longer than normal individuals of their species, perhaps due to some effect of 267's venom or due to abnormal tumor growth. Further observation is necessary to substantiate this observation. This helps to explain forensic and anthropological evidence of human predation even at a time before habitat intrusion made such behavior inevitable. So this thing might be like an ancient creature we've known about for years. A live Euclid predatory species. The creature that turns you into cancer and then fucking eats you. You become the fruit of its loom. Item number 268, Object Class Euclid, Special Containment Procedures. Strike-through. 268 is currently to be maintained within data expunged, as it has been deemed that the chance of use for facilitation of escapee by restricted personnel or humanoid SCP is too great. Wherever the possibility of use by field agents after further testing is under review, unstrike through. See Addendum 268-05. Description: 268 is a tweed wool newsboy cap. The design and make seem to be of Irish origin. Due to the style and fabric, it is estimated to have been created in the late 1800s to early 1900s, though fiber analysis is inconclusive. The only markings on the cap are a small label with writing in Middle Irish, reading, "The garden is the serpent's place." However, there are various indications that this label was sewn onto the cap in recent times. Due to the nature of the artifact, testing has been extremely difficult. 268 seems to be a normal hat until it is worn. Anyone wearing the hat, however, becomes suddenly and instantly unnoticeable. Oh, this is fucking good. I think this is one of the hats that's like in canon and in the games. You know, you see it everywhere. Due to the nature of the artifact, testing has been extremely difficult. 268 appears to be a normal hat until it is worn. Anyone wearing the hat, however, becomes suddenly and instantly unnoticeable. Subjects become unmemorable, thoroughly ignorable, or taken for granted, Subjects become unmemorable, thoroughly ignorable, or taken for granted by all observers. Observers with specific prompting are able to later recall physically seeing the subject, but can give no specific details other than seeing a man with a hat. Observers seem to have the overwhelming feeling that the wearer is someone that was supposed to be there, and thus did not merit thought or notice. This is the perception filter, but applied to a hat. I believe 268 is like a very popular one. Let me see. Let's see if we get a picture of it. I do this sometimes. So far it seems like all the mainline ones we haven't gotten a photograph, so... Yeah, there it is. There it is. I kind of like this one. Alright, it's a transparent PNG, that's why. Which one do I pick here? Which one do I pick here? There you go. Perfect. Here's 268. There it is. There it is. It's just a fucking hat. It's just a fucking hat. It ain't nothing special or anything. It's just a fucking hat. There it is. Yeah. It's just a hat. Nothing special. Okay. Except it is. During initial testing, remote analysts completely forgot what they were supposed to be observing within the chamber. And it was not until the D-class subject wearing 268 spoke out loud that he was noticed again. Removal of the artifact, vocalization, and physical interaction with observers seems to be the only way in which wearers of 268 can make themselves noticeable. Once an observer has been made to notice a 268 wearing individual, they slowly begin to ignore the subject once more unless they kept actively engaged by the wearer. Testing reveals that if a subject wears 268 upwards of 20 cumulative hours, its effects seem to linger with diminished potency on the subject even while not wearing the artifact. Testing in this area has been cautious due to the possibility of containment breaches, but one incident, see Addendum 268-04, has shown that if the artifact is worn long enough, that the effect is rendered permanent and unbreakable. That's fucking cool. And so I'm sure the Foundation, for example, the Architect, or others have utilized this. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Extensive research is still unable to determine whether or not electronics are directly affected by 268. Observers viewing an 268 wearing subject through electronic means still have difficulty acknowledging the subject's existence, and even when noticed, observers report to be unable to see the face of the individual in question. Observers note pictures of 268 wearing individuals as being blurry, and digital media such as surveillance cameras is reported to become grainy and unfocused. Research is unsure whether these alterations are extant and physical or merely perceived due to 268's properties. So it's a mimetic agent. We are unable to verify truly whether it physically alters the photos or it's like, we will always perceive alterations just due to its properties, but the physicality of the images are actually maintained. Like the face of the person is there. Or it could doubly so combine both concepts. And there's like some interim synthesis here that no matter what, they'll have a blurry face. The physics of it are confirmed, yada yada. They'll always be anonymous, yada yada. Okay. Research is unsure whether these alterations are extant and physical or merely perceived due to 268's properties. It should be noted that although capturing 268 through visual electronic means has been difficult, motion sensing, weight sensing, and heat seeking. It should be noted that although capturing 268 through visual electronic means has been difficult, motion sensing, weight sensing, heat seeking, and similar devices all trigger correctly when encountering an 268 wearing subject. So we confirm the reality's physics do adhere here for the most part. Addendum 268-01. 268 is noted to have some similarities to SCP-180. 268, however, does not seem to function on inanimate objects, and more importantly does not directly steal the identity of its host. While 180 causes its host to become unrecognizable after 180 itself is removed and placed on another While 180 causes its host to become unrecognizable after 180 itself is removed and placed on another object, this seems to be a side effect of its function of identity theft and transfer. Meanwhile, 268 could be said to steal the identity of longtime wearers as they become irrevocably forgotten. This has caused some speculation as to whether the items share similar origins, or whether the or whether the many similarities they share are merely coincidental. Addendum 268-02. At Agent Blank's request, and after approval by Dr. Blank and Dr. Klein, 268 is being used with agents in active field duty. Results thus far have been favorable. Addendum 268-03. Field testing has been suspended. Though Agent Blank appears to have been on payroll and on records, no personnel, either on-site Double Blank or in higher command, remember knowing or hearing about an Agent Blank. Further tests should be conducted only on D-class personnel and on no single individual for longer than 10 hours. Yeah, this really begs the question of we keep employing this in battle and we go past the time differential. Then invariably people are going to start disappearing, even if they're still here. So then we either we put into place, okay, we're going to have you're going to get retired, here's the way you get retired, and nobody's going to know who you are anymore, but here's your retirement funds and get the fuck out of here. Nobody knows who you are anymore. We can't do that. It just makes no sense. We can't really have methods for you to get sort of off-boarded, because nobody will know who the fuck you are ever again. So, yeah, we just keep the agents out of this. We only need to use it when we need to use it. Addendum 268-04. 268's effects seem to strengthen and become permanent as individual subjects wear the artifact for extended periods of cumulative time. There's a marked difference in the potency of 268's effect on someone wearing it for the first time and someone who has worn the artifact upwards of 5 hours on other occasions. For example, someone who has not worn the cap before seems to dispel its effects merely by speaking. Those who have worn the artifact on several occasions for extended amounts of time seem to be able to ask observers questions and receive answers, with the observer having little to no recollection of the event. In one test, a subject who had worn the artifact for upwards of 15 hours was able to ask standing personnel the test chamber's password, nearly causing a containment breach and the escape of D-class personnel. The security personnel in question reported being unable to recall parting with the information in question. Dr. Klein. So it's an information hazard. It's an information hazard as well. Because either we assume it's hallucination, or it goes beyond information hazard protocol, and you're so unnoticeable that you become an unnoticeable vector, and you become not -1 but -3, -5, -9, -11, -fucking 15, -fucking 21, -30, -50, -75, -125, etc., 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 etc. You gotta wonder at a certain point, you're hey, can you give me the secret? It's been 35 hours of me wearing the hat. Yeah, here's all my bank codes. What? No, I don't remember talking to you. Who are you? Addendum 268-05. As of double blank, quadruple blank, 268 is missing. Its absence was discovered early in the morning by Agent Blank and research analysts, and in its place was a note reading, "Thanks, I needed my hat back. LS." A full investigation of this security breach has been launched as of double blank, quadruple blank. Referred to data expunged. Okay, it was a loner, huh? Anti-memetic, clothing, Euclid, memory affecting, mind affecting, serpent's hand, uncontained. Hey, thanks for giving me this back. I needed this. I'm moving this. Can we get a clearer picture of this? Can I get a clearer picture of a 268 hat? Now that we don't have it anymore. No, not the fucking YouTube video here. Sure, give me the fucking Sherlock Holmes looking ass version of it. Here, let's get a better image of it so we have like a confirmed photo. There's the hat. There's the hat. There's the fucking hat. Okay, let's move on. 269. Nice. It's also called the Cap of Neglect. Cap of Neglect. Cap of Neglect. 269, item number 269, object class safe. Special containment procedures. 269 is stored in a standard safe class secure locker at Site 19. Experimentation with 269 may only be performed on Class D personnel, and only with prior approval from at least two Level 3 senior researchers. Description: 269 is an unmarked bracelet composed of red jade, approximately 11 centimeters in diameter, in its inactive state. 269 exhibits unusual resilience, as all attempts at obtaining a sample have failed to date, as well as constantly maintaining a temperature of approximately 36 degrees Celsius, regardless of ambient room temperature. When placed on the wrist or ankle of a living human subject, 269 contracts to fit tightly but comfortably over the extremity. Over the next 24 hours, 269 extends flexible tendrils that integrate with its host circulatory system through the ulnar and radial arteries, a process described by test subjects as being painless but mildly uncomfortable. Upon completion of this process, 269 cannot be removed from its host without amputating the affected hand or foot. Once 269 is fully integrated, it will begin to filter substances from its host's bloodstream. How this is done is not fully understood, but the process occurs over 3 stages. In the first stage, 269 will begin to filter contaminants and infectious agents such as blood-borne bacteria and viruses. This includes many disease agents that are currently incurable, such as the human immunodeficiency virus (HIV). 269 appears to be capable of identifying and isolating infected blood cells from healthy ones. As this process often results in a general improvement in the health of the host may resist attempts to have 269 removed. This stage typically lasts anywhere from 1 week to 1 month. In the second stage, 269 will begin filtering components of the host's immune system from the bloodstream. Because 269 continues to filter infectious agents from the host body, this generally goes unnoticed unless a blood analysis is performed. Stage 2 lasts anywhere from 1 month to 6 months. Well, that's fucked. In the final stage, 269 begins to filter vital blood components such as red blood cells and platelets, causing an onset of acute anemia and thrombocytopenia. Hosts that reach stage 3 quickly weaken and will invariably expire within 1 week unless massive blood transfusions are given. I'm feeling weak even just reading that. It makes me feel fucking queasy. I hate that. 269 came to the Foundation's attention following reports that a civilian, one Mr. Blank Blank from Redacted, had been cured of acquired immune deficiency syndrome, AIDS. AIDS, and died shortly thereafter. 269 was discovered attached to Mr. Blank's wrist and was secured by Foundation agents after it was found that 269 had integrated into his circulatory system. Investigation into the precise function and origin of 269 is ongoing. What? Ulnar and radial arteries. Is that the heart? That's in the arm. This thing's a fucking raw seru, but it's just like the precursor. It's just a regular seru. It's good for you, and then it fucking kills you. This is a bad raw seru from Legend of Legaia. League of Legends of Legaia. Indestructible, jewelry, medical, metamorphic, safe. It has fire powers. It's always 36 degrees Celsius. Alright, and the last one for the night, 270, item number 270, object class Euclid. Surprised I didn't get any images except for like the first one, which was random, and then the hat, which I was like, I know this one. Special containment procedures. Due to 270's immovable nature, a structure has been built around it that outwardly appears to be a large farmhouse, henceforth called Outpost Delta. Outpost Delta is to be staffed with a minimum of triple blank trained personnel. Extensive records of 270's ciphers are to be kept at Site 11. Extensive records of decoded ciphers are available in single blank, hyphen, triple blank, blank. If the security of Outpost Delta is compromised, 270 is to be destroyed along with all on-base records of verified or unverified information accumulated, and manuscripts outlining various encryptions 270 has used. Information hazard? Description: 270 is a nondescript black phone of mid-20th century make. There were no human populations exceeding double blank people per quadruple blank square meters within a quintuple blank radius of the location of discovery, and 270 itself was well hidden by surrounding native vegetation. The unusual properties of 270 were apparent upon discovering that the power cord extended an indefinite length into the soil directly below 270, despite which a steady voice was speaking through the earphone. Investigations regarding how long the cord is have since been officially discontinued. See Addendum 270A. What makes 270 of continued interest is the audio stream from the earphone, which has since been discovered to contain encrypted messages that are of value. What makes 270 of continued interest is the audio stream from the earphone, which has since been discovered to contain encrypted messages that are of value to the Foundation. Said ciphers are referred to as SCP-270-1. For the most part, 270-1 consists of a mildly distorted human strike-through female unstrike-through voice. See Addendum 270B. Speaking in a steady monotone, which has been recorded listing names, cryptic phrases, patterns of numbers, quotes, mangled quotes, strings of letters, data expunged, incomprehensible words, sounds that cannot be produced by any known animal that continue for extended amounts of time. Triple blank unconfirmed languages have been distinguished to date, double blank of which are reoccurring, monologues, nursery rhymes, redacted leading to speculation as to whether or not the narrator is in fact human, etc. The following have also been recorded: melodies, strike-through, periods of silence on strike-through, see Addendum 270C, metallic scraping noises that have been looped and recalibrated so they play roughly in the same tune as several classical music tunes, and a handful of data expunged. Morse code, redacted, human screaming, various computer programming languages, every known language on Earth, including, in one incident, Pig Latin, data expunged, possibly of biological origin, condescending laughter, music played backwards, music redacted, conversations that have evidently been recorded ranging from redacted, politically significant and extensively protected area to what was the most likely an average household discussing what grocery supplies to buy from the supermarket, static, ambient soundtracks, etc. 270 is otherwise a perfectly normal phone and is susceptible to damage as similar phones would be. Disassembly has not uncovered the source of 270's unusual properties. Strike-through. Speaking into 270 has no effect on 270-1 on strike-through. Currently disputed. Refer to incident 270-blank in which data expunged. Attempts to decipher 270-1 have yielded partial successes. In one notable case, a complicated cipher proved to be an intensive description of an SCP triple-blank's imminent attempt to breach containment. Evidence of such was found in the redacted of SCP triple-blank's containment. Containment breach was accordingly prevented. Decoded portions have alternately been startlingly useful. Decoded portions have alternately been decoded portions have alternately been startlingly useful to the Foundation and immensely frustrating to both personnel working on 270-1 and Foundation officials. For example, one double-blank hour study of what seemed to be a significant cipher proved to translate into a long and painstakingly thorough list of extremely unofficial synonyms for human blank. Likewise, information gained from 270-1 have both data expunged, preventing a possible XK-class end-of-the-world scenario, and listed secret ingredients of Dr. R. Blank's widely praised cherry pie. As it is impossible to determine how useful portions of 270-1 will be, personnel are advised to choose whether As it is impossible to determine how useful portions of 270-1 will be, personnel are advised to choose whatever segments of 270-1 they deem to be most promising. However, some portions of cipher are either too intricately encrypted for our most perspicacious personnel to decode, or indeed may hold no meaning at all. Attempts to decode 270-1 are continually ongoing. See Addenda 270D and 270E. Addendum 270A. A probe was extended a total of blank meters. This is quintuple blank meters. A probe was extended a total of quintuple blank meters along the wire before the maximum extension length was reached. Addendum 270A. A probe was extended a total of quintuple blank meters along the wire before the maximum extension length was reached. The matter has since been declared not of sufficient interest to merit a more thorough examination. Addendum 270B. As of single blank, double blank, quadruple blank military time, the unidentified female voice of 270-1 sputtered for single blank seconds before breaking down into what researchers described as disconsolate sobs, pleading to be redacted. This continued for double blank seconds before audio cut off abruptly to a double blank minute excerpt of 270-1 from double blank single blank double blank. Immediately afterwards, 270-1 proceeded as usual, the only notable difference being that the voice narrating 270-1 was male. So we could really even just say that like anything emitted from 270-1 could be like a physical emanation of 270-1 from an earlier time. Repeated once again. Addendum 270C. Further examination revealed that this was in fact not silence but audio stimuli both too high or too low pitched for human perception. Triple blank additional unidentified languages have been discovered upon supplying Outpost Delta with appropriate audio equipment. Addendum 270D. As of late, 270-1 has been becoming noticeably more difficult to decode. This includes utilizing more convoluted methods of encryption, loud background noises being added while the narrator is speaking, multiple voices speaking at once, and, in one case, loud redacted, extremely personal details redacted Dr. A. Blank, who was visibly shaken by the event. Morale has since plummeted while the stress levels has skyrocketed. A computer program has been coded in order to automatically decode portions of 270-1. A recreation wing has been added to Outpost Delta. Addendum 270E. Data processor 270-1 has been discontinued. All attempts to electronically resolve portions of 270-1 have thus far failed. ... Like fucking long ellipses. Level 5 security clearance required. We are O5 level security clearance. As of late, concerns have risen regarding the psychological states of personnel working on 270. What I'm talking about, of course, are the natural issues that arise when you have a situation like this. Namely, putting a bunch of highly intelligent, motivated, tenacious people together and ordering them to solve a puzzle that may or may not have a solution. and telling them that lives may depend upon their success or failure. Recently, Dr. Blank, by some superhuman effort, cracked double blank minutes worth of cipher that had been discarded by communal agreement as a dud, and data expunged, resulting in the aversion of a double blank end of the world scenario. This has not been beneficial for the mental states of many personnel, as every dud they discard may contain information regarding an equally disastrous event. Since then, there have been rapidly emerging paranoia and/or obsession-related disorders. Some personnel are beginning to insist that the most trivial details of this cipher contain important messages. Others have not slept or eaten in days in their pursuits, and still others have suffered from psychotic breakdowns. Well, this is awful. You don't want, basically wartime cryptography, extreme cryptography puzzles that result in life or death scenarios. You don't want that because people will overanalyze it to the point that everything has super meaning. Outpost Delta has since been supplied with more personnel in an attempt to spread the workload more thinly. However, the effects of having a few days of diligent work crumble into a dud repeatedly have what? However, the effects of having a few days of diligent work crumble into a dud repeatedly have proven to be an absolute disaster for morale and, at times, mental stability. Currently, we only have enough staff to decode roughly double blank % of the cipher. So far, reassigning personnel after a double blank month stay at double blank month stay at Outpost Delta, applying Class A amnestics, and returning them to work on 270-1 at the end of a double blank month period of low-pressure jobs has worked fairly well as a short-term solution. This, however, requires a rather large number of personnel to be continually circulating in and out of Outpost Delta to maintain the minimum amount of staff required to decode the greater portion of what comes out of 270. This must be a massive cryptography puzzle that requires, for example, genetically engineering super beings that come from the future to, solve silly trivia that we can't figure out with our small pea brains. And thus, the true nature of it is that we, made the solution to the puzzle, which was the question of the puzzle. Or, whatever the other solution is. I'm just throwing shit out. I'm pulling shit out of the pocket. In addition, long-term circulation through Outpost Delta has been shown to ingrain certain paranoid and obsessive mental behaviors that Class A amnestics don't wipe clean. Yeah. Sasuga Honto ni as expected, all according to plan, all according to Keikaku. Yeah. Some things can't be wiped by Class A amnestics. Data expunged nature of 270, this is exactly what it wants. If certain people are to be trusted, data expunged nature of 270, this is exactly what it wants. If certain people are to be trusted, data expunged disconcerting to said O5 member, redacted, not in fact a method of safe communication between unknown entities, as originally hypothesized, but rather data expunged. I request for this matter to be discussed more in depth sometime in the near future. Dr. Blank. This reminds me of 184. There's a lot of stuff that can be done with this. The cryptography puzzle really makes me see O5, higher level O5 command goes, we need to throw SCPs in the mix. Really smart ones that are dangerous. We don't care about anybody in danger. We just have to solve these puzzles really quick with really dangerous stuff. Go ahead and cause XK class out of the world scenarios anyway. Appliance, auditory, electrical, Euclid, language, mathematical, predictive. Well, that was reading the SCP Foundation Wiki, homies. I hope y'all enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one then. Peace out. Farewell for now.